Okay, welcome back to my class, and today we are graphing this cotangent function. In my previous video I have done the tangent function. You can check the previous part for the tangent function, and if you see that video you'll get a pretty fair idea how to do the cotangent function. I'm very sure you will by yourself can do the cotangent function. So the parent function is y is equal to cotangent x. What is cotangent function? It is cosine function. I will not write the whole thing. So cosine function over sine function. So to draw the graph, as you know, I always like to have my those basic 5 points, 1 2 3 4 5, which is 0, pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2, and 2 pi. Now again, as I said, you do not need the table since we are doing it for the first time. I'm drawing the table, but going forward for any transformation you do not need the table. Pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2, and 2 pi. I hope my table is visible. Okay, now here the asymptote will be wherever the sine function is 0. For what value sine function is 0? If you remember in your unit circle, sine is 0 here and here. So sine 0, 2 pi and pi, sine is 0, right? So if you remember that, we will first fill up the zeros portion. So sine 0 is zeros. That will give the function undefined, because anything divided by 0 is undefined. That will give rise to vertical asymptote. Pi by 2, then pi, this is undefined vertical asymptote. Undefined vertical asymptote. So you can do all the vertical asymptote is at 0, pi and 2 pi. Okay. Now wherever cos 0 is 0, we will get the zeros of cotangent function. Cos 0 is 0 at pi by 2 and 3 pi by 2 and so on. Now we need that pi by 4 function. We know at pi by 4 cos and sine is same, so it will be 1. So at pi by 4 I have 1. At 3 pi by 4 it is negative 1. 3 pi by 4, I hope you can see my graph, negative 1. And again 5 pi by 4 it is again 1. So the graph will be like the negative cubic function, you can say, will be like this, right? So if I keep on drawing, isn't it the graph repeating? Yes, the graph is repeating from this point. That means my period for the cotangent function is again 0 to pi, which is pi. So period for cotangent function is pi. Where are the asymptotes? Asymptotes are at x is equal to, first asymptote is 0, then pi, then 2 pi. That means the asymptote is at pi k. So what will be domain? Will be all real number except x cannot be pi k. What is range? Range is all real number. So if you observe again, okay, before I go ahead, you can hold the video, try to write the, this is pi by 2 is 0. I forgot to write the zeros. So you can hold the video and redo the parent function, then come back to learn all the tricks for doing the cotangent function. Okay, I'm moving on. Okay, so again for cotangent function, if you remember, we just took this point, and this point. 3 points only we need, 0 to pi, because after that it is repeating. And if you observe in cotangent function, your asymptote is at first and third. In tangent function, we took 3 points, middle one is the asymptote, and the graph was this. In cotangent function, the graph is the other way around of tan function. Why I did the tan function? You should be doing side by side so that you will not get confused with the tan function. So cotangent function is even easier than the tangent function because it is starting from the origin. So you just need 3 points. So no matter what is going on, if you have the 3 points, you will know the first one and the last one is the asymptote, and the graph will be something like this if there is no reflection. So the graph will look like this, right? Okay, let's find some transformation of cotangent function. Yes, cotangent function. Y is equal to cotangent to x minus pi over 4. Now we know that period of cotangent is pi. What is happening here? Horizontal compression by half. So period will be pi over 2. Again, as I said, you can always find the period by the formula, which is pi over b. What is b here in this case? B is 2, right? That is 2. So b is 2, so it is pi by 2. So if by formula also you'll get, why did I pick pi here? Because the period of the parent function is pi for cotangent function. Okay, now you know the period and the graph is moving right by pi by 4. So go to your x-axis, your graph is starting from pi by 4 at the period. So which will be 3 pi by 4. So you got your third point, 3 pi by 4. And find the middle point. Middle point will be add this to 4 pi by 4, which is pi divided by 2, which is pi by 2. And if you remember cotangent function, first one will be the asymptote, next one will be the asymptote, middle one will be the 0. To get more asymptote, keep on adding the period. If I add again a period of pi by 2, I will get another asymptote, which will be 5 pi by 4. So I will get another asymptote at 5 pi by 4. If you want to pick a negative asymptote, left side, you can subtract, excuse me. From this asymptote, I will subtract pi by 2, which will be negative pi by 4, negative pi by 4, right? Negative pi by 4. Did I do it correct? What was I was doing? Negative pi by 2, so 2, negative pi by 4, yes. So now since I got another asymptote which is here and there is pi by 4, I can easily see my y-axis will be somewhere here. So you have this point, simple. Now this point will be here. You can find this point by adding this to divide by 2. You can find this point by adding this to divide by 2. You can keep getting the points. Getting it? So simple, right? The transformation is so simple. I'm not making the video long. If you have seen by tangent function, you can do the cotangent function similar way. Let me give you a homework. I'm giving the complicated one. This time I want to see whether you guys can do it or not. I'm erasing this. Do this question for me. Cotangent of 2x plus pi over 3 minus 1. Do this question for me and let me know if you get it or not. And you can check your answer by plugging it in the calculator. You can see the graph, or plug it in the Desmos. You can see the graph whether you're doing it correct or not. Thank you guys. If you like my video, you can subscribe and share with your friends. Everyone should get the right help, right? Thank you everyone.